Madison Reedy has joined me in the studio to talk business. So, Madison, Sky is buying up Lightbox from Spark, yes?
It is, yes. So Sky Network Television, the listed broadcaster, announced today that it is planning to buy Lightbox, which is Spark's video streaming service, for an undisclosed sum. Now, Spark actually started Lightbox about 5 years ago now, and the reason that they did it was basically as a bit of a sell to customers. They wanted to use it as a means to capture more customers in bundle type offers to sell Lightbox alongside things like mobile and broadband services. But they did announce earlier this year that they were keen to sell it off, either to a local, a domestic or an international media company. Now, they've obviously found that in Sky Television. Now, the known rivals, as we know, because they've had some stoushes about sport content specifically, they actually signed a conditional agreement around Lightbox just last night, in fact, although the deal still does need regulatory approval. So the deal will see Lightbox merge with Sky's own video streaming service called Neon. So customers of both services will essentially get more content. So those who already have Neon will now also get the Lightbox content and vice versa.
And the question is, though, will they have to pay more for it?
Unfortunately, I didn't get to speak to Sky today to ask them that exact question, but I did speak to a tech commentator who said that essentially Sky would be dumb to do that, given that the fact that the market is so flooded already with the likes of Netflix. We've also had Amazon TV and Disney Plus launch only a matter of days ago in this country, that a local video subscription service already has a lot to play for in the market. So it would be very rare, I guess, for it to hike the price, given the fact that consumers already have so much choice. They say that is the reason why they've looked to merge Lightbox and Neon, because that would then give Sky more leverage and more power to fight for content rights against the likes of Netflix and Apple.
Watch this space. What news do you bring of economic growth?
Yes, so third quarter gross domestic product numbers landed today. That is economic growth. Can I have a drum roll on how they ended up?
I can try.
Economic growth came out at 0.7% for the September quarter, so that's the 3 months to September. Now, that is more than the market was expecting. The consensus forecast was around growth of 0.5 to around 0.6%, and this result is actually much, much more, in fact, almost double what the Reserve Bank of New Zealand itself was forecasting. They put it around only 0.3%, so it came in much higher than that. This result does take annual growth to 2.3%. Now, that is an uptick from the 6-year low that we actually saw in the previous quarter of around 2.1%. Now, the boost that we've seen in the September quarter, that was largely due to a rise in consumer spending. It seems that us consumers are feeling quite a bit better around historically low interest rates and also some renewed life that we're seeing in the housing market. Also, the agricultural sector had a pretty strong start to their production season. To the downside, though, there was some negativity in this result. This is still a pretty lackluster result for economic growth in the general scheme of things. And GDP per capita, which is a measure of productivity, that rose slightly, but it's still pretty weak historically too. The services sector, which makes up 2/3, about 70% of New Zealand's economy, that also weakened a bit. And as we know, businesses are just not looking to invest at the moment because they're pretty unconfident. So I would say probably on this one, all in all, not a reason to pop the champagne before Christmas.
Okay, let's have a whip around the markets then while we're at it.
The NZX Top 50 Index actually rose 1.3%, and this one may actually deserve another drum roll, Lisa.
We've broken a new record, have we?
A new record.
Okay.
So tonight we rose 151 points to hit a new record of 11,481 points on the NZX Top 50 Index. The New Zealand dollar, that's buying at 65.9 US cents, 95.8 to the Australian and 50.4 British pence.
Thanks, Madison. Madison Reedy with all our numbers and a business update there.